We're going to take a look at the temperature override in the REVIC PMR. The REVIC PMR has a ballistic computer, encoder, power, heads-up display, all this really cool stuff in here. But with electronics, you have to have some backups or fail-safes. The two sensors that we're really worried about are the temperature sensor and the compass, the magnetometer. So a couple scenarios. Let's say you're in a warm stand, warm pickup, and you have to get out and hunt in a really cold environment. In that situation, the temperature sensor is going to measure the device temperature, which is going to be warmer than the ambient. And if you have to take a really long shot, that could cause a big enough point of impact shift that it could be material. So there are some scenarios, maybe a lot of solar heat gain. You got a lot of sun beating down on the scope, and now it's reading a temperature that's higher than ambient. So in the bottom left-hand corner of the display, we show you the temperature that the sensor is reporting. If from your handheld device or just from your experience with the weather, it's like it's not 100 degrees when it's 50 outside. So you can make a pretty good guess what it should be. So if there's a discrepancy, what we've given you is a really simple, fast way to override that temperature and put a manual value in so that your ballistic calculation that you do calculates for the ambient temperature and not for the device temperature. So let me show you how the menu works and how to navigate to that and how to adjust for it. So the first thing that we do, with the display on, press and hold for 3 seconds if you've forgotten. A short press on the enter button takes you straight to the navigation menu, and it takes you right to the temperature override. So all I have to do is one more short press, and that makes the highlighted box on the auto only, and I can just scroll up or down to get the temperature that I want. So now that the temperature is what I want, I hit and do a short press on enter one more time, and that will move the highlight to the ambient temperature and the value. So once you're there, then you can either let it time out or press and hold enter to return to the main display. In the lower left-hand corner, you'll see the temperature that you just programmed. This temperature will stay in place until the scope does a hard power off. So if you've got your sleep time set to 5 minutes, it will stay that temperature for those 5 minutes, and then for the 20 minutes while it's in standby mode. But if you do a hard power off, then it will reset it and it will come back to the automatic temperature sensor reading. So just so you're aware, that sensor reading only is there while the scope has power, and once you've got a hard power off, then it will reset back to the automatic. So it's a pretty fast navigation. The most important thing that we've allowed you to adjust in the navigation menu is temperature sensor. So it is something that you may see in the field. This is the REVIC PMR, and that is how to override the temperature sensor.